All right, welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And today we're going to talk about wands and wand energy.
Lots
This will
of
be a
fire
spicy one.
energy.
Just Gary and I were talking about it. I'm up here already with it.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's going to be a good reading when Dave's already up on the ceiling before we've even hit record.
I know, right? Okay, so this is in regards to Musk, DOGE, the alleged amount of money that they're saving, and giving back to the community. We are all about charity here.
They are, I'm sure what Trump is thinking about is one of the things that came out
is charity and how he's charitable, and he can't own a charity again.
No. During COVID, everyone got a stimulus check. And that was very well received by the population. And Trump is like, he's like Mr. Burns, he's like, Smithers, I've got an excellent idea of how we could raise more money. And so someone there was a anti-woke investor who suggested James Fishback posted on X on February 14th that Elon Musk has signed up to save $2 trillion in government waste and inefficiencies. And this guy, James Fishback, says you should give 20% of that back to the American taxpayer. They're the hard workers that contributed, whose tax money that belongs to anyways. And so basically, they did some sort of voodoo math that Dave and I were trying to verify and kind of having a tough time coming up with. But the idea of having a $5,000 stimulus check returned to the American taxpayer as a result of all the wonderful money that DOGE has saved everybody. And now, of course, there is pushback. Mike Johnson, they brought that up to him at some conservative forum he was at, and he kind of rolled his eyes and said, look, that politically that'd be great, but practically, we're supposed to be the party of fiscal responsibility. If you got a $36 trillion deficit, you should probably pay down the credit card instead of giving money back.
Okay, first off, I just want to jump in. What an effing lie. And you and I believed all that. Our father believed that rhetoric, and you and I believed that rhetoric from like 1980 on. It's like, oh yeah, Republicans are party of... No, they're not. No. They are the party of ultimate deficit spending and giving the money to the Defense Department. They are... Eisenhower warned us against this.
Yeah, they like to sell themselves of that. Of course, they also sell themselves as the party of family values.
Which is branding.
Too. But yeah, no, what they do is, like Dave said, they pump a whole bunch of money into the Defense Department, and then they give tax breaks to the very wealthy and corporations.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
depending on who you are, it's great. It's great policy.
Carry on. I interrupting your train of thought there.
Yeah. Woo. Get it back on the train. So, Dave and I were talking. We're trying to reverse engineer the math. Okay, you take 20% of $2 trillion, and then you divide that by $5,000 per check, and we came up with something like 70 million.
80 million. It would be 80 million households. So it's not like $5,000 per person. It's going to be 80 million checks cashed, which would be roughly 80 million households that probably paid money as far as taxes go, because a certain percentage of households don't owe taxes because they just don't earn enough money.
Right. And then there are probably households that don't owe $5,000 in federal taxes. So
right.
There's obviously not everyone is going to have a check land in their lap and say, hooray for us. We got a $5,000 stimulus check.
By the way, it's an absolute lie. Because first off, Musk hasn't cut $2 trillion.
Nope.
And second, what the stuff he has claimed he's cut is grossly exaggerated. And this is where I was up here with this.
Yeah, like this is where it gets fun.
Yeah, this like he said, we cut this contract and we saved $8 billion. No, you didn't. It was an $8 million contract, and you overrepresented it by 1,000-fold. Another one is he's looked at these contracts that he's canceled. So let's say it's a $10 million contract. He said he's canceled. He's putting that as $10 million that he saved the government. But here's the thing. That $10 million contract, in the contracts, you can go to the government site and confirm this. I was watching a TikTok of somebody do this. This is not David doing it. This is David watching somebody who did do it. That $10 million has already been appropriated. And if you go to the act, it'll tell you the mandatory amount that they need to spend. It's like a bottom. In this case, that $10 million, the mandatory amount was $10 million. And they probably have already spent $7 million of the $10 million. So even if Musk cut the $10 million and tore up the contract, guess what? The money's already there. Yeah. So there's not $10 million in savings. It's $7 million's already spent. So it's not even $3 million in savings because the money's already appropriated and has to be spent. So there's zero savings. Right. But he puts that in his, I cut $10 million from the deficit or from the budget. So even his math is screwy. Yeah. Even if, and so they're not going to save $2 trillion. They're not even going to save $1 trillion. They're not even going to save $500 billion. And even if they did, you think they're going to give the money to people? Peasants like us? No, they'll give it to the billionaires and the corporations first.
Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to do tax cuts to wealthy people and tax cuts to businesses. And then you still have a structural deficit in the annual budget of about $1 trillion a year. How about balancing the budget before
the budget? Yeah. That's the first step. Don't worry about paying down the debt or anything like that. Get your spending under control first. Yeah. And by spending, I should say, get your revenue, your cash flow under control. Yeah. Right now they're focusing on getting spending under control by basically cutting all spending that they possibly can without any concern for functionality or efficiency
or disruption
or anything like that. And there's no talk about raising revenue on the people that make the most money. Yep. So they're going to add to the deficit. There's no way they can do this without raising revenues.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to do a film shuffle, even though it was kind of a flub shuffle. So I've had plenty of time to stack the deck, right? So let's take a look at this. First off, let's see if will Musk actually save $2 trillion so that we can get a $5,000 stimulus check for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, these I see the TikToks from the matter. We're going to get $5,000 back. No, you aren't, you gullible pile of garbage. Why do you believe that?
Okay, so will Musk get his $2 trillion? Well, you got to sort of sit back, and it's kind of like what Bill Clinton is. It depends what the definition of is.
Yeah, I got a better one for you. Yeah. Over what time period? Yeah, if you cut $10 million from the budget overall, but you put it out over 200 years, yeah, you'll save $2 trillion. It just takes a while to get there.
Okay, so we got the Four of Swords as the foundation. Yes, kind of sit back and contemplating. Musk has already said that it's not likely he's going to get to $2 trillion anyways. The challenge is judgment, but that was a pillar of having the whole DOGE department was to save all this money. It was kind of one of the pillars that Trump ran on. But you said you were going to save all this money. We voted for you because of that. That and the price of eggs, right? Underneath it all, you got the Nine of Pentacles. You've got unfortunately, this used to be the Kamala Harris card, but now it's kind of like the rich people's card. Underneath it all, the people who have money, they're going to get more money. any kind of savings you get are probably going to people who have lots of money already.
Yeah.
In the past.
They're not there to represent the average American. They're there to represent the oligarchs and the corporations.
They're there to represent their own. Exactly. In the past, you got the Ten of Wands, bringing, it's this big burden. This is probably how they viewed the government and the federal workforce and all the money that's spent. It's like, oh, we got to do something about this. There's just too much bureaucracy. There's too much heavy lifting going on. We got to be more efficient. Current energy is the Queen of Cups, keeping a lid on the emotions. Once again, he's already said he probably can't do it. This could, what could this be? This could be like Mike Johnson, how he's feeling, which is, they in the article it said he rolled his eyes when the question was asked to him. So they're just like, they probably want to scream to the clouds that this will never work. This is not going to be happening, but they've got to toe the party line.
Can you imagine, Mike Johnson's constituents now calling him and emailing him, wanting to know when they're going to get their $5,000 checks?
Oh yeah. And he's got to be the one that explains why that's not going to be happening.
Exactly. He's the one that's telling why there's no Santa Claus here.
What? Overarching energy is a page of cup. It's just more of the MAGA nonsense.
It's just they're gullible. The base is gullible, and they're going to believe everything they're told, and they're not going to. And Mike Johnson's going to have to be the one that tells them, "Yeah, you ain't getting any money," and now he's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah, he gets to be the bad guy, right? The lesson to be learned: the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. We're going to save all this money and we're going to give it back to you. What you get back will probably be a pittance to what the oligarchs are going to get.
You'll get $50 back.
Yeah, we gave you 20% of the net savings after tax cuts and other benefits to the wealthy class.
I want to throw that one out to you real quick. So if he doesn't save $2 trillion, he saves $2 billion. That's going to be a $5 check.
Yes.
Probably cost him as much to make that check as it is to
given the bureaucracy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because once they figure out the 10 people that know how to cut these checks and make it work, they will have spent so much money that it will be certainly pennies on pennies.
And Louis DeJoy messing with the post office and raising rates, it literally will be the $5 that it took them to process that check and mail it to you will actually probably add 50 cents to the deficit.
You're gonna get your $5 check with a postage due of $6 on the envelope.
It'd be funny. And what if it comes with Bed Bath and Beyond 20% off coupons too?
Exactly. And so and what's funny to me is Dave was really animated the other day. He was really pissed off because he knew the name of the Postmaster General.
Yes. There is no reality. There's no timeline out there where anyone should know the Postmaster General's name. You just shouldn't. They should be in there doing their job, and nobody should ever know their name. They should be invisible. It's like, you're the what? I didn't know there was such a thing.
If you work at the postal office or the post department, you might know, but
sure, why not?
There's no reason why we need to know this. The outcome is the Fool. The literal meaning is you're on a new journey, you're on a new path. I think Dave would probably agree. You're just kind of foolish if you believe.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You think you're getting money?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be lovely if a $5,000 check showed up. There's a lot of people on this channel that can really use a $5,000 check.
They're living paycheck to paycheck. But, here's kind of the thing, though. When the government gave stimulus checks and those PPV loans, I forget the acronym for the personal business loans.
Yeah.
There was some concern from the Republicans that there was going to be rife with fraud. And there's going to be a lot of people that game the system to get those personal business loans. And then they got forgiven. But you know what they did with those loans? A lot of them bought cars with them.
Yeah.
And don't believe me? Go look, and I'll even tell you what cars they bought. They bought Dodge Chargers, Dodge Challengers,
Lamborghinis,
and other Stellantis products. Don't believe me? Go watch any TikTok video on repos of cars, and you're going to see Hellcats, Chargers, Challengers. Like they make up like half the vehicles that are being repoed out there.
Yeah.
So people took that money, and the first thing they did was, I've got money for a down payment on a cool car, and that's what I'm going to do. If you gave people $5,000 checks, yeah, there's going to be some people who are going to save it. Some people will pay off credit card debts, and a bunch of people are going to go out there and just blow it on a stereo system, a vacation, or a new car.
Well, yeah, there's concern that this could exacerbate inflation, because now you've just got a bunch of people. All these prices have gone up, and now people have money in their pockets and they want to spend it.
And it would certainly, but it also spurs the economy because they're out there buying stuff.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it was needed to keep the economy going, which is why the United States recovered from the pandemic so quickly, is because we were helping people along with that. But the downside is, you're going to have some inflationary pressures because of that. So interest rates need to get raised to fight the inflationary pressures. And between Trump adding tariffs to everything, causing inflation, and if you give people $5,000 checks, by the way, they're not going to.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, if you're giving $5,000 checks, they're going to go out and buy stuff, helping with inflation, which is going to cause interest rates to go up even more. If there was a way that you could do it such that it was, helping out with their bills, whatever, you're better off doing debt forgiveness or something like that. But
you can't forgive debt.
I know, right?
Loan debt.
There's the best answer is balancing the budget, not giving money back to people. It's just balancing the budget. So stop adding to the debt. Let inflation erode the budget deficit to the point it'll take decades for it to happen, but eventually you'll get the deficit down to a manageable level, because inflation will, what used to be like a $1 trillion debt, if inflation was 5% in like 15 years, that $1 trillion would be $500 billion in current money. And in another period of years like that, it would be $250 billion, and a point where it's like you can just pay it off because it's not that expensive, but it just takes time to get there. Stop adding to the pile.
So do you want to throw it to see if we actually get our checks?
I want to throw on the energy of the MAGA supporters when they find out they're not getting their checks. Because
I'm going to do a little four-carder if we're actually going to get our checks while you're doing
why don't you do yours first then?
Okay, fine. Will we actually get checks? Because this could really destroy Dave's
yeah.
Wow, the Knight of Swords, yes. We're going to charge forth and get checks.
Don't spend that money before you get the check.
the world, yes, my world is depending on this. We've got so much abundance and prosperity, but it's all coming to an end. And then the sun will shine on everything. These are actually really good cards.
They're pretty good cards.
Until you get to the Ten of Swords. And it's this is probably Elon Musk charging forth, cutting all the money, saving all the money, bringing an end to this wasteful spending cycle. But the people who are going to benefit are the very wealthy people, and the program will end, and the sun is going to shine out on who actually was going to benefit from this and who wasn't.
Your cards are basically saying this is what they want, but Congress is going to put an end to this.
Yeah, that's probably what the sunshine card is.
Yeah, they're going to find out the truth soon enough, and they'll be quickly. They're going to find. They will quickly find out the truth that this isn't happening.
Right.
This is just this is wish casting.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, but it's the practical outcome of it actually resulting in a check to your mailbox is probably not very high.
Yeah,
that continue.
The Empress is like, we can't really afford to give you $5,000 checks. Let's just put an end to this discussion. The money's just not there to do this. And
and that's that Six of Pentacles card, right? It's like, well, here's a little bit. Here's some coins.
Here's how MAGA is going to react to it. We got the Page of Swords, the Page of Cups, the Sun card, the Queen of Cups. Oh God, some of these cards look familiar.
Yeah, they sure do.
I think they're going to message that there just weren't big enough cuts. They're going to find out that the cuts that were there weren't big enough to really make a difference. But it's funny. They believe anything they're told, and they're just going to be told, "Don't worry about it." Honestly, I don't think they're going to get mad over it.
Doesn't look like it.
It's just that you're kind of naive that this is not the card of naivety, but it's the cuts are too small to justify it. They're not going to get. They're just not going to get. They're not going to get this. I don't. And the thing is, with the MAGA folks, they'll forget about this, right? The government will come up with some new pearl clutching thing for them to be concerned about, and then they'll forget all about these $5,000 checks. It'll be like, oh yeah, didn't they say something about $5,000 checks? I haven't heard anything about that. It's enough. All you have to do with them is say, yeah, we're going to do that. And then they get like, oh yeah, we support Musk, we support Trump. And then Musk and Trump will go radio silent on these cuts. Or, oh, the cuts are coming, they're coming, the checks are coming. It's just going to be a couple more months. They'll string them along until they stop asking.
Are they going to string them along until the midterm elections?
Oh, geez. Yeah, the answer would be yes.
Okay. Knight of Wands. We're taking actions. We're going to do it. Seven of Cups. The illusions and delusions. Just we've worked out the math. We just got we got a concept of a plan on how we're going to issue those checks. Ten of Pentacles. There's lots of money out there. It's it's all Trump's legacy. Oh dear. Seven of Swords. And underneath is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so they're probably going to start messaging that, yeah, those things are coming. We're taking the actions we need to take. The main clarifiers, they may be, quote unquote, cooking the books, as it were.
Don't believe them. That main card says, do not believe what they say.
Don't believe the messaging. This is all about legacy. This is Trump wanting to show that he was the one that cut all this inefficient and wasteful spending. But what they really did was they took away your services. They took away the customer service. They're taking away the efficiency of the government. Governments aren't supposed to be efficient. They're supposed to be transparent. But they're taking away what efficiency was there, and the things of value that they're promising you this money. And I suspect that they're going to string them along as long as they can to at least try and get them through the midterm elections.
Exactly. They will keep promising there's money coming, there's money coming, there's money coming. And, just vote for us. We're going to...
big thing of money.
Yeah, you vote for us, and we're in... After the midterms, we'll get you those checks. Those checks are never coming.
And just as a clarifier, just what that Ace of Pentacles was, don't worry, your ship is coming in.
Yeah, it's never coming.
Yeah.
Keep
looking out there. It's out there.
Yeah. Con men are going to con.
Yeah.
And this will just be another con. This I think what's going to happen is they'll go silent on this. And then when they need a talking point to distract people, they'll bring this up. And especially if, Trump is still alive and they're fighting for midterm elections, assuming we're having midterm elections, they'll bust this thing out to try and basically buy votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. But the critical thinking skills of the folks that support Donald Trump aren't strong.
No,
they're trusting. They want to believe it. They have concept of critical thinking skills.
They're loyal to a fault.
Yeah, loyal to a fault, blind faith, and that's what the religions taught them, and that's what they figured. That's what their value is just blindly having blind faith and blind loyalty, and believing everything they're told, even if it doesn't ever manifest.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. We do appreciate it.
Absolutely. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up.